Hey, everybody. All right. We're live. Thanks for the second session here. It's GEG APAC weekend across Asia, where we have a number of languages where people are sharing their learning, focusing on educational technology, but dynamic uses of it, which is why I'm kind of excited about this session. So it's GEG APAC weekend 8.0, and our theme is creating remarkable learning. And so I love YouTube, and I thought I'm going to do YouTube, but we're focusing on all those things that you may not really think about how YouTube can be used in the classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And just to let you know, let me get my orientation sorted here. I've got my phone going. And so if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat. If you have ideas, links, and things like that, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'm going to see them on my phone, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them in real time. All right, so let me share my screen here. I'm going to share my tab. I'm going to bounce back and forth from tabs, but I want you to hear the audio for some of these things because it is YouTube. And I'm assuming you can see that. I'll just wait for it to pop up on my phone here because I'm actually kind of watching myself. So yeah, this is using YouTube better. So we're going to look at engaging activities and some useful tips for how you might use YouTube in the classroom. And I absolutely love YouTube. All right. So anyway, my name's Nate. I'm here in Japan, and I teach at Nagoya International School. I'm a diploma program history guy, as well as middle years program individuals and societies. But educational technology is my jam, and among my jam, YouTube's one of my jams. I love YouTube. So I'm happy to share this with you today. And again, this is going to be like, have you thought about using YouTube like this or that in the classroom? And we're trying to keep it kind of simple and trying to present this in a way that you might get inspired about something. So you can find me on X or Twitter, a couple of my YouTube channels. I'll show you them later. And socialstudiessamurai.com, where I have some other stuff that you might look at. So I've already talked about what we're going to do in this session here. Again, feel free to pop your ideas into the chat. Here's a big thing. This is not about becoming a YouTuber. This is how to use YouTube more innovatively in the classroom and really spark imagination and curiosity. All right, so I'm going to skip through this part. I do think some YouTube stats are pretty interesting to share. I'm not going to read through all of this, but these are a few years old right now. But when you think about it, YouTube's the second most used social platform on the planet, and people aged say 13 to 35 use it like literally all of the time. These are U.S. stats, but any I guess industrialized country, you're going to find these similar stats. Kids under the age of 11 use YouTube daily almost. And interestingly, almost half, if not more, of the people watching YouTube watch it on their mobile, which I think is kind of interesting. Let's keep that in mind. All right, so I want to jump in really quickly just to go over some features within YouTube and the dashboard that I think some people use, some people don't. I think some are kind of obvious. We'll look at the homepage, the library, and then subscribing. And I'm going to show you the YouTube audio library, which is really, really cool. And I'm going to quickly go through these, and then I'll go through one YouTube channel to kind of emphasize them. So we'll look at using filters. We're going to look at the YouTube audio library. We're going to look at playlists very briefly, and ways that you can save stuff. And of course, subscribing, which I think we all do. And I'll talk briefly about shorts and podcasts. So let me just change my screen here. All right. And well, first off, let me get rid of this. Let me just go straight back to YouTube right now. Okay, so now you should be able to see like the YouTube dashboard. So I've just gone into YouTube, and let's say I'm starting from scratch. I'm looking for something. Now, I myself, I know, I'm a history teacher, right? So maybe I want a history video. Maybe I want a history video on ancient Egypt. All right, so I'm just going to put that in. All right, so history, ancient Egypt. So I get all of these different options, right? So I haven't really filtered. Note that we have shorts now, so we'll talk about those in a moment. But right up here is where I want to draw your attention to filters. It used to be in a different place, but now it's in the top right. If you click on that, you're going to get this pop-up box here, right? And it's cold in Japan. Got to keep warm with the coffee here. So you can look at the upload date if you're looking for something really recent. If you're looking for a video or in particular a channel, like a history channel only for ancient Egypt, that could be your filter. I'm going to click here for under 4 minutes. I like videos that are not too long. So now you can see the videos and shorts that I have. If you were to look, you're going to notice that they're all short. If you mouse over them, you're going to see, for example, these two. This is 3 minutes and 30 seconds. This is 3:39. So I know those are pretty good. I'm going to click on my filters again. Maybe I want to go with a 360-degree video, right? Because those virtual tours are always pretty cool. So now I've got videos that are under 4 minutes that are in 360 degrees. Look at that. So use the filters. That's just one way that you can, kind of use your YouTube searching more efficiently and effectively. Now, I know that I want to use History Extra here as a channel for just showing you a few more things.
Say, are you looking to learn about the history that...
Okay, now, I think some of these things you pretty much know. I mean, there's the subscribe button, which if you're on a specific video, you'll see it in a different place. Here, you can see your tabs, right? That's no surprise, I think, to anyone that's used YouTube. But I do want to highlight two things. One is podcasts. Now, some YouTube channels now, what they're doing is they're taking their episodes, and if they don't have too much visual stuff that is really necessary to understand, then they're creating podcasts. So have a look around and kind of look for their podcast, because remember, sitting on a train or in a car or on a bus, it's another way to learn, right? And this other one is shorts. And if you look at YouTube shorts, right, these are becoming pretty popular pretty quickly. And basically, these are just really short videos. They're like, if I'm not mistaken, under about 3 minutes. Let me just click on one so you can kind of have...
How do you study all of human history? Well, you break it down by threes. 3 kingdoms struggling for supremacy in ancient China. 30 years of war ended by the Treaty of Westphalia. 300 Spartan hoplites in the Battle of Thermopylae. 3,000 years of pharaohs ruling ancient Egypt.
Okay, so you can see there, and now this will go on for a little bit, but I'm not going to show you the whole thing. But this is just another way to get some videos that are really kind of short on your YouTube channel. I think as teachers, these are really good because your YouTube shorts, if you created your own channel, could really be just tips. Now, notice these are all in portrait mode. So
worst dads in history.
Worst dads in history. Hope that's not me. Think about using shorts for your students, right? All right, now let's just maybe go back to videos here, and let's go with I don't know which one really rings to me. The Real War on Christmas. Let me click on that. That's Christmas is over, but I find that interesting. Let's see. Now we don't want to go through the thing. I'm going to go grab one of my videos. All right, let's look at that. So as you notice here, you've got your closed captioning, right? You've got settings where you could choose subtitles. The subtitle feature is not too bad. Play around with that. If you want to share the video, just click on share, and this is where you can copy the link and share it with your students, or of course on other social media. You've probably done that before. Click on the little ellipse there, and this is where, let me just zoom in here a bit more. And this is where you could download or clip videos and things like that. And it's another place to save it, right? And to save it to a playlist, that is. Note I'm using a Chrome extension with Edpuzzle, so I use Edpuzzle in my classroom. If I find a video, if I click on that, I can log into Edpuzzle very quickly and then start editing. That's the other session that I just did a moment ago. All right, if you have any questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat here so I can see if you've got any ideas or if you have any questions and that kind of thing. Let's see. Let me just kind of come back to this tab. So note here on the side, I've got a whole bunch of playlists, right? Well, one thing that I like to do is create playlists so that I know that everything is organized. So this is my personal account I'm using, so it doesn't quite look like what a teacher would have. But by creating playlists, it just puts all these things in one place that, it's easy for you to access. So if you give a playlist name like grade 9 science or something like that, then you can share that and organize it in whatever way that you need. Now, this session's not really about how do you move and organize things and that kind of deal, but just let it be known that there are playlists there. That would be for a longer workshop, and we're already 10 minutes in, and I've got lots to share with you. So let me go back here, and I'm going to share this tab with you now. Okay, yes, and the YouTube audio library. Now, I've got this linked here that I want to share this with you. There we go. Now, the YouTube audio library. Now, often what we do is, especially in the younger grades and middle school, we have students creating their own videos, and they have to create background music. So images and videos, we have to, be really careful of copyright. Now, with background music, the YouTube audio library is fabulous. They've got thousands and thousands of songs you can use, copyright free. Now, some of them ask that you give credit to the creator. My feeling is every single time you use somebody else's work, you should give credit, at least with as much information as possible. But let me show you how the YouTube audio library works. Even my own YouTube channel, I use YouTube audio library stuff. So let's say, well, basically, here's the landing page, right? And you can see I've got the genre, the mood, the artist, and there are some artists on YouTube that I particularly like. So, I do search by artists sometimes. Let's say Pop and Happy, 2 hearts. Let's click on that and see how it sounds.
A heart's beat to the city street.
Okay, so that has lyrics and vocals. So I don't really want to use that. This is not only background music. A lot of this is pretty much background music, though. Let's go with pop and inspirational. So if I like that, then what I can do is filter by the artist and see what else they have, and then maybe do that. But if I say, yeah, that's my song, then I can click download. And then I would cite YouTube audio library, and then, track tribe, the name of the artist, and of course, the name of the song, no indication, right? The note here too, they've got sound effects. So, I think it's kind of funny, factory background, kids playing. I mean, factory background, that might work for an Industrial Revolution video, which is what I'm teaching right now. But if you click download anyway, it's just going to automatically take you, download the video to wherever your download the audio to wherever your downloads go. Sorry, just checking to see if we have any questions here. So much like YouTube, the filters I showed earlier, the audio library has filters. So I'm going to do a quick search. I'm going to click on category. Maybe I want something that is kind of sporty. Maybe I'm making a video for my my soccer team. This was our seasonal video. So I'm going to click on that and click apply. And then I'm going to go to my filters again. Maybe I'm going to go by duration. Let's say shorter than, because I know my video is 3 minutes. So I'm going to go with, well, if my video is 3 minutes and 15 seconds, I want it to be, or maybe actually longer than that, right? So then I can edit and cut out things. Okay, look, it's a girls' soccer game. I got one choice. But notice I'm on sound effects. Let me go to music and search again. There we go. Now we're going to go with genre and mood. So let's go with poppy. Apply that. Let's go with, let's see, the duration again. Longer than 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And now I have all these choices I can go through, right? Note down here too, there's another place to download it. Let's see, you can check out the license here. And that'll give you, the information that you need, or things you need to know in terms of using it for public consumption when your kids are making their videos. So that's the YouTube audio library. Very, very cool. All right, let me come back to my slide deck here. Take a sip of coffee. All right, so YouTube videos. We're going to skip this little part here. We've gone through that stuff. So YouTube with Google Classroom, as you know, you can very quickly add a YouTube video to Google Classroom. So I don't feel I need to go through this. But you can connect it to make quiz questions like a quiz and an assignment. So just know that in Google Classroom, you can actually just go to a video and then turn that into an assignment, or maybe a flipped learning thing for home, or maybe, hey everyone, watch this short 2-minute video and answer this question, and we'll talk about it at the beginning of class tomorrow. So if you're using Google Classroom, play with that a little bit. All right, 360 videos. I love 360 videos. So let's see. Here's one that I actually just took about maybe 2 weeks ago, kind of thing. What I like about 360 videos is that you can practice observational skills, right? When you can have that virtual tour, it kind of, in not completely, but it kind of puts you in the place, right? So I've got this one linked here, but I'm just going to come right into the video. I'm going to mute the audio. And this, let me just scroll ahead here. And note that as I'm walking, like people can they can see what I see, right? You can get a sense of what's going on around you. This is the statue of Hachiko, the loyal dog in Japan. It's a famous story, right? So anyway, I encourage you to use 360 videos. And as you know now, you can search for 360 videos within, excuse me, YouTube. Oh, but you can't see this. Here's the tab that I wanted to share. Sorry. So here's Hachiko, the dog. But the point that I was making, right? You can scroll around and you can see what other people are doing. And it's not difficult to make your own 360 videos, but it's expensive to get the camera, right? So I encourage you, use 360 videos because they add a new dynamic to your classroom, really. All right, let me pause that and let me go back to the slide deck. Okay, now here's another one that I think is really cool. Now, if you go to Google Arts and Culture, they do have a number of 360 videos in there. Some are geared towards older students, like inside the Space Shuttle Discovery. The content is a little bit advanced for some lower elementary kids, but I don't know, grade 6 and on, they might like it. Let me just play this one though. There's lots of playful stuff like this on YouTube as well. I'm going to scroll ahead though, because you can see
we're like nothing that exists today.
Turn the audio off there for a moment. But we're in a museum, and watch what happens. See this, this dinosaur that's on the wall. So obviously this was produced by probably Nat Geo or Discovery or something like that. And the kids can kind of scroll around and. This is just really cool, even if it's just a video to get kids excited about.
Used its keen eyesight and sensitive.
And so here are a few other ones from Google Arts and Culture, and some of them. Let me just take one actually. Inside the space shuttle. This is kind of cool. Excuse me. And this is, I think, working with NASA. But what it has is two people talking to each other. So there's some things like this as well, where you can hear what is being said in the video, but you can scroll around as you're looking. So, take a little time and have a look for it. Oh, I didn't share the right tab again. My apologies. So here I'm inside the space shuttle and learning about it, and I can scroll around as I'm listening, which is really, really cool.
I think I was orange once.
You remember we had a sleep compartment over here.
So let me pause that. Let's go back to this, share that tab with you so we're not confused again. So look for those 360 videos. There are some live 360 videos out there. This one obviously is not available at the moment, but have a look. Sometimes there are live nature cameras out there too, which is kind of cool. I think you see that more with zoos kind of things. So I'll have to update this one. But those exist as well. They're pretty cool. All right. So using Google Forms with YouTube, maybe people have done this before. Let me give you a sample of how I've used Google Forms. So here's something students did. I've got a Google Form, which is really, for me, I don't use these for summative assessment, but I do it for formative assessment to see how much they understood. So what I do is always have the students look at the questions first, and I always put my video at the end. So they know the information that they're looking for, and then they can look at the video. And what I like is that they can watch the video directly in Google Forms, and they can pause the video and then answer the questions as they go along. I think that's it's kind of safe for students, and it really helps them focus on, can I find the information? Which is why I don't really use it for assessment, but you could, right? All right, let's go back here. You're doing well with me, bouncing from thing to thing. And again, you could do formative quizzes, summative quizzes, escape rooms, a little bit more complicated, which we don't have time for right here today. You can embed videos in Google Docs a little bit more dynamically than just putting a link. So what you notice here, this is an example of kind of a choice board, right? And what students can do is, if they click on the image, so what I do is a screenshot of the thumbnail, or I just get an image that relates to it. And all you have to do is, if you click on, let's say here, for example, let me just grab this. I copy the URL to the video, right? And so here, I don't have a link for this. So what I want to do is just go up to my link, Okay, I'm not getting as much of my stuff here. I should be able to insert a link here. I don't know why that's not happening right now, but you can insert links in images, because you can see I've done it with this one right here. Okay. Let me go to image options and see if that's not helping me. That's a little bit strange. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing this in my toolbar up here. But in your toolbar up here, you should be able to embed a link. I'm not seeing my link icon, and it's not giving me my options here either. I've obviously got a little bit of a problem going on here. But do know that you can link images to any URL, actually. And there you go. You've got a better looking link to your Google Doc. And of course, you can do that with slides and things like that. Let's go back to this. All right, YouTube and Google Slides. Here's some ways I use YouTube with Google Slides. And before I do that, though, note that with Slides Mania, you can, well, there's a lot of different places where you can get free slides decks. Have a look. These are ones I got from slidesmania.com. And it's just, especially I think for the younger grades, if you have a nice looking background, I like this old TV, kind of look. So you can insert your videos there just to make your slides, if you're playing a video, just look a little bit more interesting. Note that, the video is going to be big enough to see when I have it projected on the board. So I like that. Here's another way that I use it too. I like to have provocations at the start of class to get students thinking. I don't always do that, but fairly frequently. Sometimes it's just a question, but sometimes it's a short video that's only about maybe 2 minutes long. And of course, I have my prompt question right here. What strategies do you use to be sure information is true? And then they've got this video on how to spot fake news. So I introduced the lesson. This is what we're focusing on today. News sources, understanding media. And that's how I kick off the class. Just get them to talk to their shoulder buddy or their table group. And I keep this projected on the board, and then they just watch the video there. I might pause it sometimes. And then they have a conversation together, and then we have a whole group conversation. And then that's what we're doing today. So this is just another way to use Google Slides. This is another example of a provocation template, just images a little bit bigger. Obviously good for review. A choice board. So if you give them a slides deck where you're going through an activity or something and they're working from the slide deck, these little things that you see right here, within Google Slides, there is an extension called Google icons for Google Slides, right? You can have a look for that. I'll have a link for you that you can look at it. I'll share this whole slide deck with you in the comments here in YouTube. But this could be a choice board. Now the students are in groups of 3, and who's going to do what? Or it could be, okay, you have 3 videos, you're going to choose one, and then together with a group later on, you're going to talk about what you learned from your video. And here's just another way of doing a choice board without the video being embedded there. I do kind of like having the video thumbnail there. It looks kind of cool. And then they just have to click on it and the video plays, right? And this is a template. When you come to the this slide deck later on, you can use that template. Feel free to just copy and paste it. Okay, another way to do it too. I like doing activities where students are moving around the classroom and working in groups once in a while. Sometimes they might have, a worksheet or a computer that they're carrying around, but this is what I project on the board. I have, in the top here, I'd have a title, and in here, I'll have their prompt or a question that they have to think about. And what I'll do is just click on the music here for about 60 seconds. And for 60 seconds, they have to think about and or write about the prompt I have written here. Now, the reason why I make this just a really small little thumbnail is that I don't want students to be distracted by the video. The music is supposed to make noise so that they're not talking to each other and they're just focusing on the task that they have to do. I like to use different kinds of songs from around the world, just to kind of add to the international mindedness kind of feel of our learning. So I think that's another way you can use it. And again, small thumbnail of the video so that it's not distracting to students. Okay, third-party applications, tools, platforms, whatever. Let's start with TED Ed. Let's look at this example. The TED Ed has loads of videos for their TED Ed platform, which I think is great. And so here's an example. Teachers around the world have made their own TED Ed lessons. So here's one that was made by a teacher, Emma Bryce. And basically you watch the video and then the student, now you have to invite your students in, okay? And you do get their answers. So you could actually grade this if you want. You can monitor their engagement. All right, so you watch the video and then you have think. So then you might have some questions that you have to, the students have to answer. And they could go back to the video and review if they need to as they do that. Then there's the dig deeper. These are, it's a little bit more information the teacher adds, maybe some links that the students can go to. And then there's discuss, where, you can view the discussion that this teacher and the students have all had and look at their comments. So I think, the TED Ed platform is really, really cool. I encourage you to at least check it out. Note here, it says customize this lesson. So yes, if somebody's already made a lesson you think is quite good, but maybe a little too difficult or a little too easy for your students, then you can copy it and then modify it. All right, let's go back now. Got to make sure I'm sharing my tabs at the right point in time, right? Now, another one is Edpuzzle. I just did a session on Edpuzzle a couple hours ago. I absolutely love Edpuzzle. It's directly linked to YouTube. And what it does is create a lesson from a video where students must engage by answering questions and listening to audio notes. And the teacher can track the engagement and that kind of thing. And what's nice about Edpuzzle is the video stops every time they leave the tab. And if you have your settings toggled properly, they have to engage with everything. So let's have a look at one sample here. Share this tab. Okay, so on the side here, you can see that the students, they have questions that they can see what questions they have to answer. And just for the sake of time, I'm going to scroll ahead here. Entity through this process, now watch which we also call a personal political ideology. So, boom, the video stopped. The student has to answer a question. Now it says rewatch or skip. If the student was logged into this, they wouldn't be able to skip it. They would have to answer the question, and then they'd have to submit the question and move on to the next one. So Edpuzzle is a very, very dynamic tool. It's got great accessibility features where you can record your voice so that students can hear your voice and read the question as they go. And again, they must engage. So most YouTube videos can be used for this. Unless you're using the YouTube paid subscription, that platform. Fantastic tool. I encourage you to use Edpuzzle in the classroom. All right. And I have a couple of samples you can look at here on your own. Let's see. And that's another example for you. So you can check that out on your own. ThingLink, I think, is awesome. Let's go for, here's one that's a little bit crazy. It's kind of big. Actually, yeah, we're in Japan. No, let's go to Canada. This is where I'm from. Whoa, let's go back here. I'm going to click on that link, share this tab. ThingLink is another cool platform. They have a lot of 360-degree photos that you can use for lessons. For myself, I use my own 360 photos. This is a place about 2 hours away from where I grew up in Canada. And note I have all these little hotspots on it. Now, the majority of these ones are images and text, right? But note here I've got YouTube videos. So then the students can actually watch the YouTube videos directly within ThingLink. And maybe you'll create a worksheet or a Google Doc to go along with this. But I think ThingLink's pretty cool. And again, you can embed YouTube videos in it. And again, you could have pop-ups with information. You can embed maps and things like that. Lots of cool stuff. All right. So have a look at ThingLink. Let's go back to the slide deck here. Now, Padlet, here's another one that I think probably underused in terms of using YouTube and the Padlet map tool. So here's the example. Now, within Padlet, you have lots of options for creating your palette, right? The background. It might be free flowing. It might be these columns and that kind of thing. But there also is the map feature. And so what you can do is choose different places on the map and then put your content in there. So what I like to do is have a map ready so that sometimes when students finish early, then I can say, okay, go to the Padlet map. So, within Google Classroom or whatever your platform is, you can just have it in all of your instructions, your information. Where you have links to maybe your teacher YouTube channel or your teacher website or whatever, put it in there and you can say, okay, now go to a place on the Padlet map that you haven't been to. And what I like to do is choose, notice an important thing here is I've got pins from all over the world, right? So this shows that we're looking at the world as a whole. Every place is important, right? So let's go maybe here to Mongolia. If I click on that, all of these, by the way, I've chosen TED Ed animations because they're all about 4 to 5 minutes long, so they're not too long. And I only put one provocation in. So you can see here, a day in the life of a Mongolian queen. And so my provocation is, who are some women leaders today and why do they stand out? And then the students, they would log into Padlet and then they can watch the video. And then the next time they've got like an extra 15 minutes in class, then I can say, all right, go back to the Padlet. And I want you to have a look at, another place you haven't been to. Let's go down to Zimbabwe. All right, so Great Zimbabwe, right? And there's the one provocation. So kids can do this in about 10 minutes, right? Watch the video, think about the prompt, and then submit it. And, I might only have 3 or 4 students actually do this in one class because they finished early. So I can actually take the time to look at what they've written and respond to it. So there's another way you can use YouTube plus Padlet together. And let me just point out that, again, TED Ed, their animations are absolutely fabulous. Okay. And no comments there in the chat, but that's all right. Embedding as well, things like Sutori, you can embed your YouTube videos there. Book Creator, you can embed videos in there, which I do. And Google Earth projects. I mean, there's a lot of places you can embed YouTube videos, right? What I like about these is that you can watch the video right within the platform. And because you can add text, you can add your questions and links and things like that. Let's just quickly look at Book Creator. Story of Valentine's Day. Yes, I'm going to have to get this out. So you can see here I've got my video. They get the pop-up. If they want, they can look at it in a new window. And of course, you don't have your ads. All right. So, if you really want to turn this into a lesson, you could have like your question prompts right here. They watch the video and then they respond to it. And maybe you could have a Google Doc or a worksheet that, oh, I didn't share the tab. Sorry. So here we're in again, book creators, sorry, I've done that again. But let's say here's the history of Valentine's Day. They can watch it, and then they can, pause
Then the lupacy
answer
cut thongs
questions.
from the.
You could have your, questions or your provocations, embedded right in here if you wanted to. So, I mean, dynamic tool book creator is, and again, put those YouTube videos in there. Let me just quickly go through here. Nearpod's one I don't really have a chance to use, but I do recommend having a look at Nearpod, even their Google Classroom integration. Again, you can use video with Nearpod, which is fantastic. Here's some other ideas. These come from other people. How about a writing prompt, right? So a video that, okay, here's your video. You're going to write for 10 minutes and don't stop writing. What did you get from the video? Video analysis. So maybe you're going to look at 2 videos and then you're going to compare them. Well, this video has this information. This video has different information. So there's a problem with the 2 videos because I got to find out what is the real information because one says one thing and the other says another. So again, for maybe research, investigation, or just practicing comparing and contrasting resources, here's one thing that you could do. I love coffee, by the way, and that's why I use coffee for those. Here's another one, book reading. If you have books that are you're permitted to use and put on YouTube, then why not, you could search for people reading children's books on YouTube, ideally children reading children's books on YouTube. But if you can bring your camera closer ahead, your iPad or your iPhone or smartphone, whatever you're using, and then just kind of open the book and read it along like that, then you've got kids around the world that can actually read along in a book with you, or maybe your kids in class. For example, if you're an elementary teacher, why not record your videos, put them on a YouTube channel? Again, if the books, the license allows you to do that. And then you can say, hey, mommy and daddy, parents, every 2 weeks, I'm going to have a book that'll take you about 10 minutes to read with your child. I'm going to read it with them. So why don't you sit down and read that with them and then ask them some questions about it? Another way to engage with parents and your kids outside of the classroom. Students reading poems and doing recitations, get them to create the content and then put them out there for other people to see. Readers theater. Why not have students do readers theater and get that on YouTube, right? There's lots of cool readers theater stuff on YouTube. Choose your own adventure and or escape rooms. They're a little more complicated because, you can only put one video at a time on YouTube, right? At the end where you have that pop-up where you can see another video, watch this next video. Well, that could be your hint. You've got 2 of those there. Which do I choose to do? But it takes a long time to create, so keep that in mind. Tutorial videos. I think teacher-made tutorials are awesome because they're guided towards your students. So that's what I tend to focus on with one of my YouTube channels, is just for my students, what the content and the skills that we're focusing on. Remember, you don't have to have a high production value if you're just focusing on your students. I really encourage you to create like a Google Slides or Keynote or whatever you're using, PowerPoint, and then just do your voiceover. Record your voice going through the PowerPoint, explaining things to your students. And then put them on YouTube so kids can go back to YouTube very quickly, very easily. And then even families at home, tell your children, the parents and guardians that, hey, there is this that you can help your child at home with. Okay, now here's another one. I'm actually going to play one of these videos because I like what this person's doing. He's a science teacher. And what he does is when he's out into the world, he just makes these 1 or 2 minute videos explaining something. And at the end, he gives provocation to his students. So, and then he puts them on his YouTube channel and he says, hey, everyone, here's a new video. Have a look. And so he's connecting his own life with his classroom.
Hey, Mr. Graves here. Something that I've been thinking about, I get up here in the Arctic, is the CO2 the same here in the Arctic as it is back home?
So he says, like, I'm here in the Arctic. I have a question. Is the CO2 the same here as it is back home? So he's got a question for them to think about. And he's got a few other things to, come up with some ideas why. Um, and so there he has a very simple video that his students can learn from. I love this idea. It's great
Hey,
stuff.
Mr.
I'm going to think about how I can do that more. Student work, get them online as well. Please do, right? Here's one like an animation that students made on the positive effects of volcanoes.
Hi guys, I'm Sophie. And I'm Jessica. Today we'll be
So they made their own stop motion animation video that other students can learn from.
Actually in Iceland since
Right. So that's the point. They've made the video. When students make things, they're a lot more powerful than the teacher make things. When a teacher makes things, as much as I would like to say, yes, the students love my videos, they actually like videos made by teenagers a lot more.
Hi.
And there's a few more examples in there that you can look at. Here's one using document cameras. I had students that were English as a second language students. And so what I did was for them to show the teacher, their classroom teacher, that they understood, I believe it was A Midsummer Night's Dream, really challenging for a student in grade 7 and as an EAL student. So what they did, we used a document camera. This, of course, you could now use like your iPad. But if you note here, let me just scroll ahead a bit.
In Athens. So they plan to go outside of the Athens, which is Lysander's aunt's house.
So you see the student, you don't see their face, but you hear them talking and drawing to explain the story, right? So it doesn't have to be a book or a play or something. It could be a concept. It could be a process or something like that, where your students, they actually record themselves drawing it and explaining it. And then they submit that to the teacher. I mean, and why, would you put this on YouTube? Yeah, I think you could put it on YouTube because then other students can learn from it as well. Here's one, kids doing magic tricks, get them to teach each other something. I like putting our drama that we do. If we do like short little historical dramas, then we put them on YouTube and then we can watch the playlist. The playlist serves as the chronology. In this case, it was period history in Japan. So we started with Jomon and then went to Yayoi and then we went to, I think it was Kofun after that. So anyway, just the YouTube playlist serves as the chronology, right, of history. And again, students, when they do videos like public service announcements, put them on YouTube in a playlist, and that way they can learn from each other, right? It shows them that what you could do is like this example. We were looking at different crises around the world. Well, the thumbnail that we used for YouTube for our playlist, they put a QR code on it, and then I just printed all of these off and put them around the school. And notice that the thumbnail has, some information that might be provoking, right, or provocative. And then might get someone to actually pull out their phone, scan the QR code, and watch the video. So again, students make videos. Don't stop there. Put it on your school YouTube, your teacher YouTube channel. Make a playlist, and then make an awareness campaign around your school. So, and of course, it's a YouTube playlist they go to look at those videos. Here's another one that's fun. We were introducing Adobe Express to our students. Well, actually, we were teaching them about economic systems. And so their task, their assessment was to, in a group, create a YouTube channel. And their topic, they had to break down into smaller parts. And each student had to make one separate video for each little part. But they had to work as a group. They got graded on their video as an individual, but as a group, they had to be a YouTube channel. There were a team creating a YouTube channel. We use the GRASPS model, right? What's your goal? What's your situation and that kind of thing? Who's your audience? And so they created this YouTube playlist with everything standardized for all the videos, but the grading went down to their own. The fun stuff was working with other people, but the grading, whoops, let me go back here. But the grade was separate. And so this is what this group had: mixed economies, right? So key characteristics, role of the government, consumer sovereignty, blah, blah, blah. And you can see if you were to watch these videos, you'll see all the transitions, everything is consistent. And it's because they created it collaboratively in Adobe Express, right? So I highly recommend that. There's another example for you. Okay, and recording devices, things like that, because we're going to start winding things down here. So iPads, your smartphones, I mean, tablets, they're all excellent now for recording. I do recommend getting for about maybe $25 US. You can get a transmitter for your phone, and then you can get a couple of clip microphones. They're wireless, and then your sound is just a little bit better. Get a tripod. You can get a little tripod tree for about $10. So basically, once you have your device, for an extra maybe $40, you can do your recording at home. Put up a green or white sheet for your background if that's what you're going to do. Go ahead and do it. Again, tripods, even the mounts for your phones, they're about $5. They're not too expensive if you have it in your school budget. I don't want to assume that everybody can afford this, but you can improvise and make your own even. Let's see, lots of ways to record video: QuickTime, Screencastify, Loom, Screencast-O-Matic, Filmora, you name it. Lots of different places to film. If you're going to record, just remember little basic things like a quiet place, good lighting, know your content so that you're not reading, but you're actually talking to the audience, even if it's just your students. Use a good quality microphone, pace your speaking. I tend to be very quick when I'm, doing these workshops kind of thing. I got to slow down sometimes. I do that for my videos. Keep your videos short and focused. Any more than 5 minutes and people lose the attention, right? Let's see. Don't have anything up there. Just a few more things right there. So what I'm going to do is stop sharing my screen. But what I am going to do is pop in the comments here, the link. Hey, and Taco and Sudipta, I just noticed here. Now, for some reason, I'm not getting that. And Sangeeta, great to see you all. I'm not sure if you're still here, but here's a link to the slides. So all those links that are in there, have a look. Okay. I absolutely love YouTube. And you know what? I'm going to be a little bit selfish here. If you're into Japanese history, I finally started my newest YouTube channel. It's called Japanese History Trip. And it's all going to be mostly 360-degree videos. Little by little, I'm going to be adding them. I already have a whole pile of videos, so I'll just add one a week kind of thing. You can learn about Japan. But hopefully that'll serve as some inspiration. So GEG APAC weekend, we got lots of stuff going on in Bahasa Malaysian, in Hindi, I think Tagalog, definitely in English. So yeah, please feel free to join any of the sessions. Go to, if you Google GEG APAC, you're going to find us. And then you'll see the links there. But this session, that's it. Reach out, Nate Gildart. I am at Nathan Gildart. Oh, maybe I'll put that in there as well. On Twitter or X. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and we'll see you soon.